Welcome to Heath Keighran Cut.
I've actually, it's totally off topic, but after watching my first episode, I was like, I need to lose some camera weight. Yeah.
I thought you looked great.
Oh, thank you. In the episode, that's all I need. Thank you.
I was like,
No, but I think you just get hypercritical about yourself.
Yeah, I hate watching myself.
Yeah.
I hate looking at myself on screen. I mean, I do it because I need to.
Yeah.
And it's like, what I'm doing, is that actually being portrayed the way I think it's going to come across on the screen?
Yeah.
But I hate it.
Yeah, same. Pete often sends me things because we like make things, and he's like, "Can you want to watch this?" I'm like, "No."
No.
But I do.
But I will.
And then I hate every second of it. Why did I do that? Or why didn't I do that?
Why are we in this job?
Exactly. It's tough.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining me, Amelia.
Thanks for having me.
Recent name change?
Name change.
Yeah. Like official, or is that just
It
socials?
is official, although I'm still struggling with it with my banks, but we won't go into that.
So,
no, it's divorce.
Oh, okay.
Divorce. Yes, I've gone back to my maiden name.
Nice.
And I'm taking everything back, including my acting persona.
Cool. When people tell me they have a divorce, my first reaction is like, congrats.
Because
it's like, well,
it is true.
What else do I say?
I actually just went on a photo shoot with a guy, and I work with him like at least once a year. And he's like, yeah, name change. And I'm like, yeah, I got divorced. And it was the big, oh my goodness, congratulations, you look fantastic.
Okay.
Divorce looks good on you. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
nice.
Oh, that's more than I expected.
Okay.
Or got from anyone else.
Well, it's true. It does look good on you. So,
shucks.
where you've been busy. I've been on
Equally
socials. I think equally busy, but in different aspects.
different ways.
You've been killing it in the acting scene and doing some really good work. And was it 2 films in Canberra Short Festival?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I think I had 3 in the
Okay.
end. Yeah.
That's
I know,
pretty
it's
cool.
funny because in all the years, I actually said this to the guys at the Queer Night and said, I've been acting in Canberra for almost a decade now, and this is probably the first year I've actually had something in Canberra Short Film Festival.
Yeah.
And I got 3.
That's
3
insane.
days. So I'm like,
Well, I'm yet
like-
to have anything in Canberra Short
Hate it.
Film Festival. So that's pretty cool.
it was cool. It did make things busy because I actually went away for work in the middle of that week too, and I kind of like bust back into Canberra midday that day, had a shower, had a nap, got changed, and off to a screening. And
Okay.
I'm doing this for the good of me, the good of me.
I feel like that's a lot of the like interplay with the creative life is this other life of your like mundane day-to-day surviving.
Superheroes.
Yeah.
different layers.
And then it's like you got to switch into the thriving side,
Yeah.
which is what we love doing.
Feeds the soul.
Yeah. Do you want to take us through, because three films in Canberra Film Festival, like what to you makes a good set?
Are the people.
Yeah.
And cut. No. A good set, it does actually start with the people.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got the right cast, you've got the right crew that just connect, know what each other are doing, and can work in amongst each other, and also just bring joy to the set, make everybody feel safe, and just enjoy the experience of making, then whatever story you're actually trying to tell will actually show that, I think. One of my favorite sets was actually for a student set from a few years ago, where we were playing a cannibalistic family. Okay. And the son of the family brought the girlfriend home, was obviously going to become the next fortnight's meals.
Okay.
But the set itself just had such a vibe where everyone was very chill. We had laughs all the time, and we just kind of ribbed each other too through between takes and everything. We just enjoyed it so much. Obviously, being comedy, that vibe in the making came through in the final product of the film, and it was actually just an absolute riot to watch in the end. Yeah. So to make a set, make sure you've got the right people.
Okay. And then on that, so if you're on like a more heavy set or like a horror set or something, how do you then maintain that kind of fun and positivity when something's dark?
I think it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Yeah.
Horror and dark, and even like when you're playing truly evil characters that are they're just fun to play.
Yeah.
So while you're embodying this person and you're finding all the things that are different about that character and going, right, how do I fit into this? And make it my own, or make it authentic, so it comes across on screen as you are that person. You're not putting on a mask.
Yep.
Between takes, it all just falls apart.
Yeah.
You know, again, another film set. That's what we're here to talk about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a student feature film, actually, just a couple of years ago, where I did end up playing the big bad, and she was a bitch. She was also 30 years my senior, so I had to learn how to do the makeup. And I was married to John Rogers, who is the actual age of my actual father. So I'm like, it was very weird. And I got a beautiful compliment from someone else on that set who just like saw my first take and going, she's not that old. I'm like, nailed
it, yeah.
Yes. But she was a truly, truly evil character.
Yeah,
And my death scene was sublime, where they actually put me on almost like this skateboard type thing, so I could be dragged into hell across the floor. And I had so much fun doing, like, screaming, carrying on. But then it's like cut, and you're like, swim back into the and made the most of it. Like, I was giggling the whole time because I was just having an absolute blast. And I think everybody kind of fed off that energy, and we just enjoyed it. So even the dark characters, while in the moment you need to be there, it's the joy that comes around it, and it's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We have to love what we're doing.
Yeah.
Or what's the point in doing it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are some like hard times in what we do, and without that love or passion, I think it'll be too easy to kind of throw it away.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And just be like, oh no, not for me.
And I think for those who have actually been in the industry a while, those moments do come up where you're just like, I've had enough of it. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And they'll, people do take a break from it because it is physically and emotionally exhausting, the things we do. My acting coach always said, if you weren't tired at the end of a day, you hadn't worked hard enough.
Okay.
So I think taking a break is important for that, because otherwise you will lose the passion. And once the passion's gone, everything else is gone with it.
Yeah.
And it's sad because we have lost some really good actors in Canberra just from them losing passion, just from being exhausted.
Yeah. You mentioned like an acting coach.
Yeah.
How long have you had one of them for?
I haven't seen him in a little while, I'll be honest. But I've been through a few schools actually, but the acting coach is Bobby Farquhar here in Canberra.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I think I saw him for probably about 5 years in the National Acting School.
Yeah.
And he focuses more on screen acting than theatre, because it's so different, right? Theatre, you need to fill a space immediately from walking on stage. That's something I'm very good at. But when your stage is this big, you've really got to bring it in, and the emotion needs to be authentic, or it doesn't read on screen. It reads like you're putting it on. So he's really good at kind of pulling out those emotions without going method, but that muscle memory is there, so you can actually pull it up and actually emote in a moment and just be able to switch it on, switch it off as you need to, and enjoy the joy of the in-between.
And then for like people listening, do you think, like I've been looking at getting like an acting coach, but I have some, I guess, fear or reluctancy about getting one because of then I have to commit. They're going to tell me, no, that's wrong. And
the commitment. You have a child. Like,
that's tough.
You've made a big commitment.
Probably the biggest commitment one could do, or longest maybe, hopefully. So would you would you suggest to people that an acting coach is like kind of a must-have or very beneficial once you get to a certain place in your career?
I think we are always learning, particularly in this particular space. And acting is very much like any other workout. It's like you've got to keep working the muscle
Yep.
or you'll lose it, right? As a must, probably not a must.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot there, but I think there are times when it is a benefit to actually go in, all right, I need to learn something new.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I need to take a bit of a break and just kind of reset and just do the bits that I enjoy. That said, I've been through most of the schools here in Canberra, starting with Perform Australia.
Yep.
And I think that was a great launch pad for me to get into acting. I didn't go to them because I was doing more public speaking, actually. I'm like, I need courage. I'm still a shit public speaker, but here I am on an acting journey. And I'm like, give me a character, I'll make a fool of myself for hours. And I've been to NIDA, I've been, you know, around, I've done short courses with like TAFTA and afters and that kind of thing. So I think I've got something out of each and every one of them, because acting is still very personal.
Yeah.
And you need to find what's going to work for you. And unless you try new things, you're not going to know what is working and what isn't working. So I think, yes, it's a benefit. Must? No, but it certainly helps.
I think there's like a nice thing there on, like, it is personal and we're drawing upon like our experiences, whether we can like assimilate them to something or they're like a direct like correlation to that thing that we're trying to act. But I feel like, and this may, I don't know if this is true, but it's a gut feel, is that with more and more people like reaching to like digital things to learn and understand or watch, we're kind of missing that like intrinsic thing that we can build in our bodies when we go and do something. So like watching how to, I don't know, run, for example, or going and running are two totally different things.
Oh yeah.
And when
there are people who cannot run at all. Let's not do that again.
But then when you go do it, it's like it's there in you. And I think the more you do, and the more you can go and experience just anything in the world, kind of sets you up in a better place as an actor, so you can draw upon things.
I think it's just not as an actor, in life.
Yeah, in life.
Life is about experiences.
Yeah.
Just, I am a yes person. I will walk through open doors, an opportunity comes up and I'm like, I've not done that before. Let's go see what that's about. I'll either love it or I'll hate it, you know? And I think a lot of that attitude is what I bring to my acting, which is those opportunities to experience something that I can draw on down the path. You know?
I think that's like early on, like TFP and student films and stuff are awesome, because if you do get the opportunity to do it, like you're learning how sets work, you're learning how like directors think, you're learning how like sound work, you're actually in it, and then it's preparing you for then if you do get a bigger set or a bigger break, then you've got something to call upon, so you're not rocking up like raw.
Yeah. And I think obviously as an actor, it doesn't matter whether you're screen or theatre or both, that want to be able to do those bigger things, those big professional things and get paid for it, is absolutely on the cards, like all the time, right? But Canberra is a student industry.
Yeah.
It really, really is. Yes, we have AIE trying to build studios here.
Yeah.
And I really hope they do, because I think Canberra actually has a lot to offer.
It does.
Not just in talent that is here, both acting and crew side, but I think like the surrounds of Canberra, we've got so many landscapes to offer as backdrops, and it is just an absolute hub for creativity, I think. There was a point I was trying to make there and I've completely lost it.
Student films, saying yes.
Student films here, I think it's students now from back when I started. I think when I was kicking off my acting career, it was Perform Australia, it was UC, it was CIT Media Studies, and it was great. They were great students, but they're very bound and restricted by their courses in writing what they know. You know, and they're all late teens, early 20s, and that's what they know, you know. So you'd be offered roles like, oh, can you come play mum? Very one-dimensional mum. Like, okay, no worries, good from a show reel, great. As the years have gone on, particularly with AIE coming into the picture, and they're a very strong film school in themselves, the students are really starting to push boundaries with what is a good story, what is creativity, what are the stories that need to be told. And I'm loving the stuff that is coming out. Like they're actually just creating these meaty stories. They send you a script and you're like, oh yeah, I need to be part of this. Even if it's tiny, I need to be a part of this because it's a story that is actually worth telling, and it's not clean cut, it's not cookie cutter, it's not Hollywood, it's real, it's raw, and I love that stuff. It's I think this is where my passion is going. And like, let's just tell real stories, but not the doco style. Like, let's just make people and minority groups feel like they're not alone. You know, and that's really where those stories are kind of starting to move, and I'm loving it, absolutely loving it.
I think it's like a golden age for people to tell stories and to create. Like, it's so easy now just to get access to the tools. Like 20, 30 years ago, it would have been harder. You couldn't just pick up a thing that you carry every day and shoot a movie in a phone.
I mean, it's mind-blowing to think our phones have more power than the rockets that sent man to the moon the first time, right? It's like,
it's right here in our pocket.
Watch brain rot videos. It's great.
And there is like, on that, there's so much content that is just shit. And it's like just copied.
But some of that shit is also gold.
Some of it gets you laughing, and it gets you to like take a break and see like what's happening. But there's a lot of like real stuff now that I think is kind of being prioritized and coming through in like originality and true stories and people's perspectives on things that a while ago wouldn't have ever made it onto a digital channel.
It's far too taboo to talk about, you know.
And then you think like how good that is for like the next generation growing up who can identify with themselves on screen and not look at what was traditional pretty or traditional man or traditional woman and roles, and it's now, well, there's this whole range of diversity that I get to see, and I can see myself in these minority roles, or I can see myself playing this person, I can see myself being this person, and you get a lot more perspective as a younger age, I think, of how broad the world is, but then also where like the creativity world can take you. Like, it's so broad to think.
It is so broad, but it's also so small at the same time. Like, it's such an enigma, you know, and even if it's a character who is entirely different to yourself, there are still those similarities, and you're like, actually, I've experienced the same but different, you know, and that's commonality amongst all of us, which is, you know, harmony.
That's nice. That's good.
Around the world.
Get it together. When did you start? Like, was there a point in your life when you were like, I need to be creative, I need to do acting, I need to express myself, I need to do things other than like what was kind of mainstream?
I'm not mainstream. I'm a very asymmetrical person.
That's good.
I've always been creative.
I
think, and I've always had my hand in something. I did acting as a kid, but more stage acting in my very early years. I was doing calisthenics and I did ballet as a kid. I think I broke my mum's heart because she was a ballet dancer too. And then I'm like, done with that. I want to play soccer now. She's like, soccer beats, let's go. And she's like, oh. In my very early teen years, my father actually started playing the Highland bagpipes.
Oh, wow.
And as a result, my brother started playing the snare drum, I started playing the tenor drum. That kind of took over my creative sphere for quite a number of years. And I've traveled the world with those guys. I've been to Edinburgh, I've been to Russia, of all places, played in Red Square, marched through the gates of the Kremlin. We were the first international contingent to march through the gates since World War II. We were first Highland pipe band to play on Norfolk Island in 150 years. Like a lot of firsts. It was great. And I've had some amazing, amazing experiences doing that. But then life takes over. As it does, you grow up, you get a full-time job and responsibilities and mortgages and, you know, all the fun stuff that doesn't leave a lot of space for creativity. Painting and drawing kind of came into that a little bit, and I still play with that from time to time. I've got big ideas for projects at the moment. I've just got to find the time to do them. Just stop, take a breath. But like I said, we were talking earlier, and there was a point where I was doing more public speaking at work, and I wasn't really very confident with my public speaking, and someone suggested that I go do an acting course. And I was mulling it around, I was playing with it, and around the same time, I was at a friend's place for her kid's birthday, and I think, from memory, he was like 8 or 9, and we were just sitting at her kitchen counter, having birthday cake, having those conversations you have with kids, and it's like, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he's like, I want to be an actor. He was the extrovert of the family, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to be an actor when I was your age too. And he's like, well, why don't you do it now? Yeah. And I'm like, that's a very good question. Yeah. So I think in that moment, that was the universe kind of nudging me back towards something more theatrical. And that's when I started taking up the thing. And it was for public speaking, which I honestly thought the acting side wasn't really going to take off because I was 35. I was morbidly obese. I just didn't have any confidence. I didn't think I had presence. I was just going to these classes to just try and professionally, personally develop. But then I started getting cast in things. And I'm like, oh, I could actually do this. And I just kind of started following that path. You know, the more it happened, I'm like, all right, like people are actually wanting me for me, not for what I think it should be, because we're drilled so much, you know, like you need to be skinny, particularly women in the industry, like you need to have a certain look. You know, you need to be this, you need to be that. And you need to fit into this tiny little box that is very like everybody else. And I'm very much not like everybody else. I'm like, I'm not going to fit. But I think this industry, Hollywood aside, actually makes space for that diversity and individuality, and everybody has something to bring. And if you embrace it, it will embrace you.
That's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. I didn't think of that on the spot at all.
That was good. I keep finding like this common thread in who we're speaking to. It's like this like universal push or pull or drive, or knowing that like that's where I need to lean into. And then it seems that the more like people go with it and lean into it, the more it like opens up and accepts them. And I know if like from Pete and I, we've both had like these ideas of like this longing of, well, something in us that like we need to create, and we need to do, and we need to follow that path. And I always find early on for me, it was very much like, just push it down. And then I hit 30 and I was like, if I don't like do something, then is that it for the rest of my life? I'm just always going to wonder. And I remember signing up for, actually I auditioned for the Short and Sweet stage show. And I got cast and I felt amazing. It was probably like the worst portrayal of a character I've ever done, because it was my first time acting on a stage in front of people in like this competition format.
I'm sure you nailed it.
I don't know. I'll ask Dan. I was with Dan. He'd probably say no. But then from there, I'm like, well, that was awesome. I felt so good, and I had like this euphoric sense of joy that was like I couldn't get from anything else. And then I signed up for a course at, I think it was Carter at the time.
Carter at the time,
yeah. And did like Screen 101, and was just like fell more in love with it. And then each step I took, I just got more and more out of it, and on like every level, from like knowledge down to like feeling of like pure emotion and joy. And I don't think I'll ever stop, because on one hand, like I'm chasing that feeling, but then on the other hand comes the feeling of rejection, not getting cast, doubting yourself, rewatching yourself, wondering. Is there any kind of ways you deal with that?
It is an industry built on rejection, hey? And it's, I don't know, there are people who will argue with me, but they get a lot of roles too, so we're just going to put them in their own category. Dealing with rejection. Look, I think a lot of the time it's just knowing that you can't take things personally. You know, it is not actually about you and your ability, and it very rarely is. You can be the strongest actor in the world, but I think it was on the TAFTA course, one of our coaches was saying he has seen people lose roles because he looked like the director's ex-wife.
Yeah. Okay.
Or she looked like the director's ex-wife, you know, and it's such a small thing that had nothing to do with that actor's ability or even their appearance, except for there was a personal conflict there, you know. It is hard. You do need to have resilience to keep going. And I don't think, again, that's another muscle that you need to learn to grow in. You keep leaning in, keep going forward, because those chances will come up. And when those chances come up, make the most of it. Soak up all the endorphins that you can, and let that be what you ride on to the next gig. Because there are times where you'll be sitting on the couch on a weekend going, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm done with this part of my life. And then the emails come through saying, can you come be part of my film? And I'm like, yeah.
Yes. Are you, when you're acting and you're trying to portray like a real emotion, do you just give in to what happens? Or, because like some actors are like, no, I'm going to blink on this line and like, you know, curl my lip here because it makes sense. Whereas some are just more like deliver it and kind of see what happens. And
yeah, I think I'm more intuitive in that space. Back in my very first course with Carter, we had a stage performance that I think the script I had was, I want to say it was Good Girls. It was two sisters. One had adopted the other sister's child, but they hadn't told her, and there was the mother was getting very ill, dying. So the big famous sister had come home and they were having an argument. And we were performing it on stage, and because we rehearsed it, we knew what was there, I knew where the beats were, I knew where the emotion needed to come out. But once I hit it, that emotion came out. And I was like, to the point where I was so angry I was about to cry, which is not me. It was absolutely the character. My scene partner was sitting there going, oh God, what do I do? And I was, roll with it. Oh, wait. And I think that was probably my first instance of going, this is real. It can still be emotive. Well, it's not me, it's them. But that is what actually gave it that authenticity to actually flow through. It was a little scary, a lot of vulnerable, but it was the beginning of the journey, I think, of that authentic emotion where I have learnt to just be intuitive with what comes out. And sometimes it can be different every take, so I need to be more cautious of that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm going to make it an absolute nightmare for the editor.
That's their job. That's what they love doing, you know?
It's like, depends if you get invited back.
Do you find though, when you kind of give into the authenticity and into the emotion, that it then gives like your scene partner the kind of freedom to respond more authentically, or to kind of match you there rather than...
Yeah, absolutely. I think acting, very broadly speaking, is a very empathetic craft. And the people who tend to get drawn towards it are highly empathetic people. So that emotional energy exchange is very real, and is as real in a scene as it would be in real life. In my experience, it sounds awful, and I'm really not going to mean it this way, but when you have someone who is less experienced and less willing to open themselves up to that emotion, they'll be very guarded. And a stronger actor who is not cognizant of what they're doing will actually drop themselves to match. And you can actually end up with a very cardboard spicy scene, right? It's like spicy as toothpaste, as it is. Where if you hold yourself as the stronger actor and just give the emotion, you'll actually lift this person up to a higher emotive place, and it will actually come across more authentic. So the short answer is yes. Short story long, yes.
Never shrink. That's
Never shrink, no. And that's for everything in life. Do not dim your light because someone else refuses to shine. Because if you light the way, they'll follow you.
And if they
You know,
don't,
like all the way down the garden path, into the forest, down a rabbit hole.
what's been your kind of highlight so far, noting that you've still got so much more to come?
I don't think I actually have a singular highlight.
Yeah.
I find joy in all the things that I do, but I think, look, there was one feature that I did a couple of years ago with Steve called The Blacksmith, and we were just out on this farm filming for most of the time, and it was just a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
The cottage and just the way, like, it had its moments, but just generally being there was a highlight. And I think, while the film itself, I feel, world according to me, actually ended up becoming more art house, because the crew started out very green, but they learnt a lot over the course, and that became evident throughout the film.
Okay.
That things just improved and improved and improved until the end, which was beautiful. The horror film before, where I got put on a trolley to get dragged into the pits of hell by all the children that I'd killed, like, that was just so much fun. And she was such a bitch. She was so beautiful to play, you know. And I kind of embodied Glenn Close in what's that? The one with all the women get 1950 style. Far out. I'm going to have to Google this, but I left my phone all the way over there.
Yeah.
Stepford Wives.
Oh, yeah.
All the way around. We get there eventually. It's been a long week. Yeah.
Nice. How do you stay, like, in it and to find gigs, to audition, to be in a place where people email you to want you to be part of their project? Like, that must feel pretty good. So how do you, in between those, like, hey, we want you on this thing, are you, like, on Facebook? Do you use any of those, like Star Now or any of those sites to try to get work? Yeah. All
of them. So I do have a little agent here in Canberra, and I think Ruth mentioned her too, the Devoca models. I've got a little bit of work through her. But yes, all the groups on Facebook, and I know Facebook is uncool these days, but there are a lot of groups on there that do share, particularly the student stuff and the stuff, and it's creating those networks too, right? And it's like, you get known as someone, you get known as someone who's fun on set, being agile. I think one of the best pieces of advice I got in my early days was be able to do different roles. Like, you want to be an actor, that's great, but do different roles. Like, be able to do makeup. I've been a director, I've been wardrobe, I've been art department. And I've just kind of gone through, I've been script advisor, you know, and being able to jump in and out of roles makes you versatile, but it also makes you valuable. Yeah. Right. And there's your Canberra networks. You got the Star Now, casting networks. I know there's some stuff going on with them at the moment that are feeling a bit sketchy. So mind yourself, but it is still something that casting agents do use for the more professional gigs. And then I'd say, like, once you've actually established yourself here, you will have enough to actually start going to Sydney and Melbourne and actually putting yourself out, or even Queensland. There's a lot going on in Queensland at the moment. And actually start pushing yourself out if that's where the direction you want to go.
Cool. And then creating your own opportunities. I think,
like making your own stuff.
I think that's big in what we do. And I know just from, like, Pete and I doing this from episode 1, like, we're learning and we're growing and we're changing and understanding more, and even, like, lighting differently or trying new techniques. And I think in doing it with everything, it's like how you learn and understand it. And then it's like, well, now, like, we could go help other people on set, or we could help do other things, or we could then branch out and create more things. And I don't think necessarily you have to create something for it to be this big piece that goes viral and gets you a gig. It's like, just create it, so you go through the process of creating it, and that's the outcome.
And very close to a conversation I had with a friend very recently, because I think he is beautiful, beautiful man and creator, but he fell into a hole of creating for a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, telling a story for a purpose. And we do have the film festivals that kind of pull on that with Trope Fest and Lights, Camera, Action.
Yeah.
And that's like, there is a very distinct parameters, very distinct parameters for that. And you're creating for the purpose of that film festival. But if you don't get in, then that's absolutely shattering and heartbreaking. And I just went out and had a coffee, and I'm like, we just need to make. We need to make for the love of making it, and put that into film festivals. Yeah. Because that's where we're going to get our skills up. We're going to get our name out there, and the passion and the joy will actually come back to us. He did lose his mojo in making for a while, which was a bit sad, but we're getting back into it. That's good. Slowly but surely. Yeah. But it is making for the purpose of making it, for having a story to tell. Yeah. Don't make it for a film festival, because the industry of rejection, you know, it will absolutely shatter you and break you if you continuously don't get into those. Yeah. Where, you know, the standard could be significantly high, and it's just pipped at the post. Yeah. You know, and you get that so often. Yeah. But if you make for joy, then the joy is always going to be there. Exactly.
And I think you probably, I feel like you push yourself more and learn more when you're doing it for like yourself, because you'll take the risk. You'll try something a little bit different, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if you kind of like, well, this has to fit this mold of what we think people want to see, then I think it dies before.
Yeah, it's embracing that idea of failing forward, right? Yeah. And it's like, I tried it, didn't work out, or if I twist it this way, that's going to look amazing, and you've learned something, and you can take that forward. Like, didn't work then, but it's going to work on the next one. Yeah.
I love watching like your characters, because I think they come across as true and real. And so we got a little task. What we do with our guests is like run through a little creativity or critique kind of thing. So we put together just a rough like little script. Ooh. And just to hear.
I was expecting the video.
Just to run through and take us through, if this was like given to you as an audition piece, just take us through like how you would go about like dissecting it, what you would look for, what you would like try to read between the lines, and then we'll just do like a bit of a table read.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen this either, so Pete wrote this.
All right, I need a couple of...
Yeah, take some time.
Read it first. Yeah. Read it first.
That's tip one, read first. So pretend you had like a couple of days to go over this. Are you one of those people that like highlights the script and writes notes?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll try and find the beat change, and I'll write that into the note. Like where is that emotion going? And then you've got your little sub beats of what is she trying to achieve here? What does she need? What does she want? Who does she want it from? The who, what, when, where, why, and how. You know, it is. There's a point where you'll go through and you'll analyze the absolute heck out of it. When I get a script, I would typically print off 3. Okay. And there'll be one that I wrote notes all over as I'm analyzing it. Yep. There'll be the one that I write notes all over as you're going through the production stuff, like what is the costume, what is the vibe, I can then try and pull that out. And that's when I go off and start writing my journal. That's a whole something we haven't discussed.
A journal? Like
journal. So
for each character?
Each character, for my character development generally, particularly for bigger roles, I will write a journal for that character. So I actually got it from Heath Ledger. Okay. So I don't know if you remember years ago, at National Sound and Film Archive, there was the big Heath Ledger exhibition.
He had them for the Joker, didn't he?
He had the Joker, and he had his Joker journal. I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. So I started adopting the same thing. And there was one film I did not too long ago, Steve Cook, lovely man, where my character was a witch with a W. He keeps casting me in witchy roles. I'm a good witch, apparently. But I started writing a journal from back when she was a child. Like, how did she become the person up to the point that that film started. So once I hit that set, I knew her almost as well as I knew myself.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and if something had to shift, I could shift her to match it. And it's not something that I typically share with other people. Then on the backside, you know, turn the little book over and you're writing down your costume stuff.
Yeah, okay.
It's just one of those character development things that I did, and it's because Heath Ledger made me feel lazy as an actor. So I took literally a leaf out of his book.
Cool.
A second script will be the beginning of that.
Yeah,
where I've done the analysis, but then there's the character breakdown.
Yeah.
Who is she? What does she want? What does she need? Who does she need it from? Where is she? Why is she there? And then my third script will be the one that I carry around with me everywhere, that has all my lines marked, the ones that I've rehearsed against. If tweaks are made on set, which they always are, that's the bit where I'll note it down, and just to try and solidify it up here, because you've rehearsed it to death and you've got your way of doing it, and now someone's trying to change that. It's Are
you like an actor that is word for word verbatim, or do you, once you've kind of got your character, you'll splice in what you think kind of resonates better with the character? I will try and own it and make it, because I think that comes with the authenticity, right? And it's like, this person is growing into this with this accent, this voice. You need to make the words fit the character. But I will always check with the director first, because there are directors who want it verbatim. And if that's what they want, then that's what I'll give them. That's not a problem. But in Canberra, that's not typically the case. They'll say, this is a bit that you need to say because that's going to feed another part. But otherwise, make it your own. And it just helps with the authenticity of the character. Nice. I was going to say camera then. I'm like, it's a character I want to say. It is. Always looking at us. Cool. Well, we'll do the quick table read, just to see. I probably won't go through it all. We'll just go through a bit. But then just to be like, it's a feel if anything changed and where you would go to next. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Are you going to read the big text as well?
Yeah, I'll read that. So Act 3, I won't do that. Internal home kitchen evening. Samantha is serving dinner. She's bringing over food to the table. The front door opens as Jack returns home. Samantha fumbles a utensil. Jack making his way to the table. Oh, that smells good. Internal home dining evening. Samantha.
Thank you. I hope you like it. I'm using all those ingredients I picked up from that new organic shop down the road.
I saw you bought a new dress yesterday.
Yeah, it was on sale. I thought I could wear it when we go away this weekend.
Yeah, okay. Just on that, I gotta take this outside. Hey, you can't call me now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You're absolutely filthy. Save it for the weekend. I gotta go.
Who's that?
Oh, someone from the office. Yeah, I'm going away this weekend, sorry. We'll have to reschedule our getaway.
Okay. I feel like that's a shame. It was really short notice. Where do you have to go?
Just the Sydney office. You know, they have the typical startup issues. Need me to sort it out. Should be back Monday. All right. Yeah, I might call it a night. Big weekend ahead. Cool. And scene. Nice.
That was fantastic. Holy shit. You're good.
So Yeah, I felt like after doing it, probably Jack's a bit more of a conniving slug.
He's dirty.
Yeah.
He's a dirty boy. Yeah.
Probably, I feel like he'd probably have to be a bit more like narcissistic or passive.
I actually think you played it really well just then. Yeah, because there was a subtlety to it. Particularly when you went to take the call outside and it was like, you better lower your voice and talk quieter because you don't want Samantha inside to hear it. But like, we know what's going on. Yeah. The little giggles and stuff. And I'm like, oh, all right, I got to pick up my game. All right.
yours was good. Yours was
like mine was very script ready.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was awesome. Was there anything? I really liked your there was a sense of, for me, there was a sense of like, as Jack, like that I was tiptoeing too close to you figuring it out from your reactions.
Yeah.
And your emotion. And I kind of felt that, like, oh, I actually did something wrong. Don't judge me.
Outside the script, this is a judgment free. I think you actually played that really well. And that emotive exchange, I actually think made it quite interesting. For me personally, and what I heard myself do, I probably would ground Samantha.
Good. That was awesome. Thanks for being my scene partner.
Oh no, thank you.
And thanks.
If we ran it again, it would be sweet.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can shoot it as a real scene.
Ooh.
And then do it later.
Ooh,
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
You said you have an audition tonight, so chookers.
Oh, thank you.
That'll be fun. Let us know how you go.
I will, definitely, yeah.
Thanks for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed learning from you, and I definitely learned a few things about like to do something. And that's what I did in that little scene, like was just hold up my phone.
Yeah.
Rather than not.
Doing two things.
Yeah.
Objective and an action.
That was perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Cool.
Yay.